Welcome to the CMO Spotlight. And today I'd like to welcome Lindsay Listanski, who is the Vice President of National Public Relations and Communications for Coldwell Banker.
I started as the social media manager, the first ever social media manager. I remember doing an intern in college, internship, and saying like, there's something to being able to use, Facebook for business. And that was before business pages even came out. So it was really cool to be kind of coming up as a digital native and being able to jump into using it for business as kind of one of the first people out of college to do that. And from there, I grew into running all of our national advertising. And at that point, it was probably maybe 4 or 5 years into the company, and I was wanting more. And the great thing about Coldwell Banker, again, as I alluded to, is we're part of Realogy, which has a lot of different career opportunities. And people that are on an accelerated career path really can look at our company as not a corporate ladder, but as a corporate lattice. You can look to your competitors as sister brands. And at that point, our senior leadership team said, we're thinking about launching another franchise. We want you to run marketing for that. So I left Coldwell Banker for a little bit to work on that. And then from there, they had another tour of duty, which is what they were calling it, to grow my skill set. And they said, we want to have you work on our iBuyer program. So I did that, rounded out more marketing skill sets, and then came back recently as the Vice President of Public Relations and Communications. I'm a really strong communicator. And when I was in 8th grade, I got told that I was aggressively friendly as the social butterfly of the class. But I was like, you know what, 8th grade friends, now I run communications, and I flipped it into a career. So I think my communication skills have served me really well in making sure that I've always advocated for myself in my career, advocated for people on my team. And it's, served me well in crisis communication situations and things like that. So I would definitely say that's the gift of gab, I guess. Our CEO is Ryan Gorman, and Ryan Gorman, to me, is one of the most inspirational leaders. He is a servant leader. He has such a strong moral compass, and he leads, he's not led. And I am constantly inspired by the way that he has been driving things for our brand for the past few years. So I would say Ryan is a huge inspiration to me. He moves fast, he takes chances, but he's just incredibly smart and has one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen. One thing that I'll say about Coldwell Banker is we're very true to our roots of like who we are, what we believe in. Home is our core. So we launched this amazing TV campaign for a couple weeks. The pandemic stopped, but because of the message that we use, we were able to flip it into something called Hometown Heroes, where we started spotlighting all the hometown heroes across the country that were keeping things running: the truck drivers, the nurses, the doctors, the first responders. And that campaign to me was so interesting, how we were able to pivot in real time, stay true to our roots. And from a marketing perspective, I just felt like it was a grand slam, watching our team in real time be really agile with what we had and still staying true to our message, but being able to make it work for the remainder of the year. Listen, communications is such an individual thing, right? Everybody likes to learn and listen and take in information in their own way. Some people like to listen to information, they read it. Some people like it on the go. Some people like videos. So I think always striking the right balance of how our audience wants to take that information in has been a challenge, right? And we know that nobody wants another email. So finding that multimedia mix of getting our message out has certainly been a struggle, but I think we've come leaps and bounds in making sure that our network is very up to date and gets succinct messaging. The pandemic has certainly been, a struggle within our industry, especially in the beginning where people were like afraid to leave their houses, right? And, we were saying our agents were kind of like up in that heroes world where they were kind of going out every day saying people need to move. And that's just a fact of life. There's always going to be a need to relocate and move because of lifestyle triggers, and our agents, were out there doing what they needed to do. So it was really interesting to watch them and to be able to support them and to keep them as safe and informed as possible, through our communications team. We had our team meeting, every single night till 10 o'clock, figuring out what was tomorrow going to look like in terms of mandates and state by state, what we had to do to keep everyone protected and safe. So that was certainly a challenge, and my team really excelled. I, for my team, demand transparency and honesty and respect. And we are like a no drama team, which is so nice because I can't stand drama. As a leader, I believe so strongly in transparency, not just in, business goals and objectives, but really making sure from a coaching perspective, people always know where they stand. I think that's really important. And I think like feedback is a gift, and I try to give it to people every single day. As a leader, I want people to feel like there is a very flat organization in our company. And I make it really clear that if you're in a meeting, you're there for a reason. And while you may be in the room with Ryan Gorman, who's our CEO, or David Marine, who's our CMO, you're in that meeting because you are smart, and I want you to give your opinion.